Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel Educatianopedia, the School of Future. Today again I am here with the chapter first of history, that is your how, when and where. This is the first chapter of your history and we will be discussing this chapter today and learning many new things about this chapter. First of all, what we know is that how important are dates. First topic you can see here that it is clearly mentioned that how important are dates. Okay, so how important are dates when this question comes to our mind? So many things are there. So first, when we talk about history, we talk about dates. History means dates. If we are not confirmed with dates, we are not confirmed with history. So whenever we are studying about history, we are confirming the dates. So in dates also, which dates? Okay, so there are certain things which is known as the importance of dates. You suppose your year of birth is an important event for you and your parents. Okay, similarly many dates are important for the course of history also. Similarly, our date of birth is important for us and our parents. So we can say that the course of history is there, and that course of history, in that course of history, the time, the year, the dates are also important. Precise dates are relevant only for some key events. Okay, so there are many incidents or the key events in history, for that we are having the dates. Okay, like such as the year in which the independence of India took place, or the year 1930 when Gandhi ji returned from India from the South Africa and took over the freedom struggle from Bal Gangadhar Tilak, the Congress party leader. Once we go to more distant past, historians explain different events in terms of periods. So whenever we will be having the things and whenever we will having the dates, that depends on the story of the past, that what happened in the past, and secondly it will focus on the particular set of events. Now, second to dates, after reading about the dates, we have how do we periodize. Periodize means to divide the period, to divide the timeline, to divide the time, the years, the centuries, like how much amount of years or how much number of years we will add to one part and what number of years we will add to other parts. So there are different kinds of division, and on that basis we divide the history into different periods and on different basis. Okay, so we are having a Scottish political philosopher who is known as the James Mill. In 1817 he came to India, bought out a 3-volume work. Okay, so he has written a book, and it is a 3-volume work, means 3 parts he has done of that book, and its name is the History of British India. Means when the Britishers came to India, what was the condition of our country. He divided Indian history into 3 periods: the Hindu period, the Muslim period, and the British period. What periods we are having here? The Hindu period, the Muslim period, and the British period. Okay, next, when we are going Hindu, Muslim, and British period, because he thought that the first part the Hindus were ruling the land, after that, after the invasions of Muslims, the Muslims were ruling the land, and after that the Britishers came and they were ruling the land. So that all things were there. The way of the periodization of Indian history was accepted widely. Okay, why it was accepted widely? Because Hindu, Muslim, and British, because these three were the rulers. These three were the rulers who ruled the Indian subcontinent. That's why they were having the concept that the 3 periods can be divided into these 3 types. But the common division of Indian history, what we study today, is your ancient history, medieval history, and modern history. Because ancient, medieval, and modern, 3 division have done, and in these 3 divisions you can study about the past, the Vedas, and the first civilization, and all those things in the ancient history. In the medieval history we are having the civilizations which developed. They developed into kingdoms, they developed into empires, and the rulers were there, the kings were there, and the fights were there, and they were conquering the areas. All those things were there. And the modern history, what we are having? In the modern history we are having the different concept of the civilizations and how the modernization took place, how the laws came, how the constitution came, and all these things are there. Okay, James Mill is regarded Asians as uncivilized. So according to James Mill, what was the condition of Indians? They were, or the Asians, that they were uncivilized according to the Britishers or James Mill. Okay, so that is not the right thing, not the right way to depict anything. And he told that they need to be civilized and they need to be uh, educated in order that they understand and come with the people who are civilized. Okay, next, what is colonial? Okay, what is colonial means? Colonial means refers to British rule. So in the British period, or the British time, when we are having the different things, like the Britishers were ruling in different parts of the world, and why did they went there? That is an important question. Okay, so important question is there, that why the British were ruling or the British were developing colonies. As you know that the Britain, France, these all places are there, Germany, these all places are there, they are very cold regions. Okay, so in that region they are having ice caps throughout the year, and it is very cold there. So those people are surviving there, or those people are living there in the cold regions, so they need something to be heated. And a common question or a common topic which I discuss here, that why the people in England are eating beef, and they are eating different kinds of things, and they are the women also are drinking wine there. So I've told you many times that we are having the Mediterranean Sea is there, and there the cold winds blow, and due to that in the winter season we are everywhere the ice caps are developed. And after that what happens, if they will not have this type of heating sources, or they will not eat much spices, they will not take wine, then their body will start melting. They will, it is because it is less than minus it is less than 0 degrees. So in that condition what happens, they need to consume different things which can keep their body hot. And in India we are surviving because of the mountains or because of the Himalayas. Okay, so that is the thing. So that's why the British rule, and that's why the Britishers left their area, and they were roaming to different parts of the world, they were traveling to different parts of the world, and they were finding different things which may keep them heated. They were doing the trade in order to get the good quality of clothes and all those things. Okay, so this was the thing. Next is your how important are dates. In this we will see history is synonymous with dates, means if we are talking about history we need to talk about the dates, and we compare the past with the present. What do we do with the dates? We compare the past with the present. Okay, so if anybody asks you that what are the importance of dates, you can say that if you are talking about history we need to talk about the dates also. Without dates there is no history, and without history without the dates we cannot study the history. Next is your, we compare the past with the present. So whatever things have happened in the past, so those things need to be studied, and an accurate timeline is required, and for all those things you need to have the accurate date or a particular period in which we know that yes, within this time period the particular things might have taken place. Okay, next, what is the thing after do, how do we know? So about history, next part which we are having here is your how do we know about the past. Okay, what official records does not tell us. So here once we go official records we are talking about, so there were archives and museums, and you are seeing a part that administrative records and the procedure records were kept in the archives and museums, and the surveys become important in this part. And why, what official records do not tell, that it does not tell about the people who were living in India and what were the need of the people at that time. And what the official record did not tell, money records hide the truth and only show the aspect of the event. What the Britishers wanted to show there, that is being shown. Okay, next is your, did India have an archive in pre-colonial rule? So now we are having the archives. So were there archives during the pre-colonial, means before the Britishers also do we having archives? So for that purpose I would like to tell you or add something. Okay, during ancient time the Hindu kings did not have the art of keeping the written records. What they were doing, they were not writing art of keeping written records in ancient times. Okay, in the ancient times, what was the thing? Only the Brahmins were educated and only they knew how to read and write. So the Brahmins were the main source who were writing the things, who were reading the things for the kings and the different people living in the society. Writing was difficult as there was no paper at that time. So you know that the paper printing press or the paper has came very paperless has been developed from China and all those places, and now we are having the paper where we are writing. Before that we were having the bhojpatras and all those things. So at that time paper was not there, so people were writing on the copper plates. Okay, what the people were doing, they were writing on the copper plates known as the tamrapatra. Basically it was used by the kings only. Most of the Indian history has been discovered from the travelers such as Chinese traveler Huensing. Huensing was the traveler who came from China, and we read most of the things or we get most of the things from his writing or the travelogue. I would like to add one thing more that you read in class 7 also, that the people who travel from one place to another and they have written in their past about their experiences and the place, that things are known as the travelogues. Okay, so the people who were there, Huan Sing and Fa Hien were there, a veteran traveler Marco Polo who traveled through India. These all travelers were there who wrote about India. These travelers kept an account of everything they saw, and what they did, that whatever they were seeing nearby they were writing it in their diaries. Okay, from their accounts the idea of administration and social and economic form of their accounts and all those things come into the context of today's people or the historians. Ashoka the Great kept records for public view on stone pillars which are still intact and can be seen in Delhi and other places. So Ashoka pillars there, Ashok Stambh is there, we are finding it on our coin also. So that was the, or in Sarnath also we are having. So that things were made, and the iron pillar, it is having a quality of iron that it has not yet rusted. So you can see that how much advanced these people were there. Babur is there. Babur, you know, Babur has written a Mughal. He has also written his travelogue that is known as Tuzuke Baburi or Babarnama, we call it as. Akbar maintained his records in Akbarnama also, and the British records are also there, which are there that we study, and with that only we are getting, after reading all these things, we are getting the idea, or we are getting that what sort of things are there, and what were there, what were the things that were existing in the past. Next to that, when we study, we get that things are there, and here you can see that after this we are having that what official records does not tell means about the need of the people. Okay, so need of the people means what the people were needing at that time. Okay, because that all things were written by the Britishers. They were not writing the pathetic condition of the people living in our country, or they were not writing about what was happening with the common people in the country. They were only writing about the rulers, they were only writing about the queens, they were always writing about the princess or the prince and all those things. And money records, whatever things they have looted from here or whatever things they have carried away from India, that thing is not yet mentioned in any of the records. Only thing which is mentioned, that the Britishers help us to get civilized, the Britishers help us to stand on ourselves and all those things, that things are mentioned, but they have never mentioned that what was the amount of wealth they really earned from here and what they have taken. Though in the further chapters you will study that there was the amount of wealth with, or gold or silver, they were bringing from India, from England, in order to trade in India. But later on, once the Nawab of the British crown became the, or the governor became, or the Britishers became the governor of Bengal, they were not even bringing that from England, and otherwise they were bringing the gold and silver and they were trading here. But after the getting the Diwani of Bengal, they were not bringing anything from England, and whatever trade they were doing on the basis of the agrarian gain or the agricultural gain which they were getting from the people. Okay, next, some surveys become important. So there were different kind of surveys in that past, and that surveys were done by the Britishers. Now we are having the census survey. Census survey is basically done after every, what we say, 10 to 10 years. Okay, so like if we last it was done in 2011, this year we were having the chance that the surveys might be done or the census might be done, but due to the coronavirus pandemic we are not having any such criteria this time, and I hope so it will not be conducted this year, and later on after 1 or 2 years, when everything gets or the situation gets under control, that after the pandemic it might take place. Next to that, what we are having, practice of surveys become common, means they were doing the surveys, practice of surveys, and they were surveying each and everything. Okay, so that's why it is told that the practice of surveys become common. Botanical survey, botanical surveys means what kind of plants are there. Okay, botanical is there, what kind of plants are there. Zoological survey is there, what kind of animals are there. And next to that, we are having archaeological survey, means what is the historical things, monuments are there, or any kind of things, or any types of things we are getting. Or the anthropological survey, anthropology is the study of the old dead, indicate things. And after that, the forest surveys were also done. And what were these forest surveys? Forest surveys means how much amount of area in India is under the forest cover, what kind of trees are found there, what kind of flora and fauna are there, and what is being used as medicinal, what is being used for furniture. All those things were kept into the mind. So that all things were surveyed, and that's why survey become important. Next to that, we are having the administration by procedure record. In the administration and procedure records, the archives or the National Archive is built. Archives and museums were built and established to preserve the important records. And in that archives and museums, different kind of things were kept, and the people were using those things. They were in the archives, they were watching that what things are like. In India, we are having different kinds of archives. Like you go to the Hyderabad, there you have the Salarjung Museum is there. After that, you are having your the Dharovar in Haryana. When you go to Kurukshetra in the campus of Kurukshetra University, you are having Dharovar. There, I can say that if you want to really visit Haryana, or if you have missed anything, you can easily learn from there, or you can easily get the things of the past. Each and everything, or each and every aspect of Haryana related to its history, its warfare, its army, and all those things are being mentioned in that Dharovar. Next to that, we are having the British preserved the important documents and letters. Whatever important decisions they have taken, or any important letter has came from Victoria, or from the kings and queens of the British Empire. So from there, all things were kept in record. Official records of the British administration were having all these records, and it was mentioned in these records, and that's why these records become important. And sources of colonial period are there. And why importance of surveys we have seen, and although administration importance of surveys were there, because census was there every year. They also wanted to know that what population has grown, what kind of animals, what kind of plants, what kind of things are living there. And the official records does not tell us many things, like it is the about the need of the people we are doing. So what were the need of the people? Like it was not telling us about the leaders and reformers, those who were the leaders or social reformers in the society, or those who were the poets in the society, the novelists in the society, or the first newspapers which were being published by the Indians, or the different types of pamphlets, or different kinds of thing, or the situation which were taking place in the country. Okay, so these all things are there. And you will see that within this period, I would like to also mention certain things. Like there are certain things which we want to know. Like we have seen that one important fact I would like to add, that Warren Hastings was the first Governor General in India. Lord Mountbatten was the last Viceroy of India. In fact, the Rashtrapati Bhavan was earlier known as the Viceroy's house, and was the official residence of the Viceroy. So this Rashtrapati Bhavan which we are having, there the Viceroy of India were living, and they were having, it was the house of those people. And later on that place changed, and it is now known as the Rashtrapati Bhavan. Okay, so again, how important are dates? From there we have started, and which dates, and how do we periodize. There are two methods of division, like James Mill method of division, or the common method of division. Colonial relates to the British rule, or whatever things have been done in the British rule. And history, all we know is the synonymous with traits, and we compare the past and the present. And official records do not tell about the common people who were living there, and the money records what has been taken by the people. Next to that, we are having the British Governor General's record is there, that who were the British Governor Generals. So the first British Governor General was Lord Clive from 1757 to 1760. After that, from 1765 to 1767. Next to him was Warren Hastings from 1772 to 1785. Next to that, the Lord Cornwallis was there from 1786 to 1793. And after that, we are having Lord Dalhousie 1848 to 1856, and he brought the doctrine of lapse, annexed Punjab, Bihar and Awadh. Lord Canning was there from 1856 to 1862, and he was that at the time when the first war of 1857 took place, or the revolt of 1857 took place, and he only suppressed it in 1858. And he was the last Governor General of East India Company and first Viceroy under the Crown. So the Viceroys are basically your, I will tell you the Viceroys who were there. Lord Canning was there. After that, Lord Elgin came. After that, Lord John Lawrence, and then Lord Mayo. After that, Lord Northbrook. After that, Lord Lytton. Then Lord Ripon, Lord Dufferin, then Lord Lansdowne, then Lord Elgin II, then Lord Curzon, Lord Minto II, then came Lord Harding II, Lord Chelmsford, next Lord Dalhousie, Lord Irwin, Lord Wellington, Lord Linlithgow, next is your Lord Wavell, Lord Mountbatten, and last was your from June 1948 to January 1950, Chakrabarti Rajgopalchari or C. Rajgopalchari. So these were the lords who were there, and you can see that we have completed the first part of the chapter, or the first part of the chapter. We can say that we have completed this summary, and this is only what we have learned. So what we have things, I would like to summarize it in sorts, that which dates we talk about, we depend about the story of the past, that from where we want to start, like that's why ancient, medieval and modern. Focus on the particular set of events, that what things took place in that particular period of time, what we want to study. Next, we periodize according to James Mill. It was 3 periods: Hindu, Muslim, British. Next, common division of Indian history is your ancient, medieval and modern. So what do we know by colonial? Means where the British were ruling, it refers to British rule. And what it changes, what colonial rule wanted to do, it wanted to change the values and taste of people, customs of peoples and practices of people. How dates are important? History is synonymous dates. If you want to study the history, we need to study the dates. We compare the past with the present when we are studying the dates. How do we know about the past? We know about the past from the official records and non-official records. What official records does not tell us the life of the common people of India and how much amount of wealth was carried away by the Britishers. Second thing, why was some surveys important? Surveys were important because the practice of surveys were common, because practice of surveys become common because what happens, because each and British wanted to have a record of each and everything what existed in India. Next to that, what kind of survey they were doing? They were doing the botanical survey, genealogical survey, archaeological survey, anthropological survey and false surveys. After that, what we are having, administration and procedure records. So for that, they were having the archives and museums were established to preserve the important records and the dress of the people. Like if you go to Victoria Memorial in Bengal, and you will find most of the things related to the British rule present there. Still each and everything is preserved. Okay, next, British preserves important documents and letters. Yeah, along with that, they are having the important documents and letters which were being written during that era or period. Official records of the British administration gives us many information that what took place during that period. So this was all about your chapter in history, how, when and where. So if any queries are there, you can put it in the inbox column downwards, and I hope so you understand this chapter well. And thank you for joining my channel Educationopedia, the school of future. Okay, so I hope so you understand this topic well, and I hope that you will like my channel. Please like and subscribe the channel. Thank you.